Welcome back, Mark Rogerson here, and today I'm going to go through how Rogerson Kenny, or we, work with legal firms. There's a bit of stuff on the board here, and we're going to look at how we work with legal firms. We sort of put into some simple categories. So when we go into a legal firm, what are we looking at to start with? And the first thing we're looking at is firm capacity. So what we're looking at is what is the actual billing capacity of the firm, and we sort of work with the owners to go through line by line, staff member by staff member, what their capacity should be in terms of billing capacity. And then we have a look at, pretty simply, if there is what we call a black hole, and that's the black hole between billings and capacity. So if your billings are $3 million but your capacity's $4 million, we're looking at why and trying to uncover that. So for us, that's the first step. Let's understand capacity, let's calculate it, let's understand it, and then let's check that against billings, and if there's a gap, why is there a gap? We then move on to the second step, and that's taking what we call financial control of the firm. So we're looking at three main things here, and the caveat is with this, we typically don't move on to this section until we've nailed this. So what we're looking at in this taking our financial control is we're looking at your workflow, and this is really systems and processes around the workflow, how you invoice and your debtors. So on workflow, it's do you have a workflow map? Is there clear systems, processes, checklists, guides, templates, etc.? Is it challenged? Is it updated, etc., etc.? So these two things as well. In the notes to this video, we've got an ebook or a couple of ebooks on capacity, and we've also got an ebook, quite a detailed ebook on taking financial control. I think that's sort of a 14-odd pager. So from this point here, we've understood capacity. We know if there's a difference between capacity and billings, and we know why at this first step. We're then looking at trying to have more money in the business. This is all about having cash in the business. And that's through taking financial control, and that's through workflow, invoicing, debtors. And then it's a discussion with the owners. There's usually a couple of ways to go, and these couple of ways to go is we can either grow, or we can just maximise return. Growth is a difficult thing, and I think something that gets missed in growth is what growth actually entails. And often, the first step for growth for us is the owners all need to be aligned. So if the owners aren't aligned in growth and what that looks like, then there's no point going any further. So the owners, there could be 1, 2, 3, 4 owners. I think everyone needs to be on the same page with what our growth looks like for them and for the business. Second step that we say on how to grow is you got to have your staff structure and capabilities. If you want to grow and you don't have a great team structure, it's very flat and all roads lead to the owners, then as the firm grows, it's just going to exaggerate the owner's workload. And so what we're really looking here on our second step on how to grow is that there's a really good team structure, a deep structure, and that structure is underpinned with the right capabilities. And I'm not necessarily talking about technical capabilities, I'm more talking about capabilities around management, managing workflow, managing staff, etc. Third step in how to grow. Once again, this how to grow, we've got an ebook on how to grow your legal firm, which will be available in the notes to this video. Third step to how to grow, systems and processes. We talk about that in quite a bit of detail, and that sort of links back into this workflow section here. So system and processes in the firm. Fourth step that we say, which might seem a bit counterintuitive when you want to grow, but we sort of get to the fourth step, and that's our marketing and sales. So really that's around areas of focus, having clear marketing areas that you market to, and then your sales process when leads come in, how leads are treated and converted. And then the last thing with how to grow is, and it's usually a sign of a really well-functioning firm, is where individuals or team members in the firm can identify and communicate and effectively close opportunities. So you might have a team member working on a particular matter. It might be an $8,000 matter, for example, and they identify that there's some additional work that needs to be done that's another $3,000 or $4,000. They sell it into the client, and you as the owner don't have to get too involved in that. So at this juncture here, taking financial control, like I said, we're either looking to maximise return or we're looking at how to grow. So if it's how to grow, we've got 5 steps in that. Like I said, there's an ebook downloadable at the bottom of this video, and then we're sort of moving on to maximising the return to owners. And this here, I guess, is all underpinned by us. So our role is we look at tax compliance. Tax compliance, of course, we're accountants. We look to hold you accountable. So that's accountable. That's financial accountability. So whether that's monthly or quarterly meetings and catch-ups to go through all the key metrics that we want to look at, in terms of capacity and productivity and all that sort of stuff. And then it's advice and guidance around how to implement and work all this sort of stuff. And it's underpinned with our strategic planning process. So with most legal firms and by extension professional services firms, we look to have 5 areas to a strategic plan. And so I guess just to step back a bit, with a strategic plan, you've sort of got goals, vision, mission, values, that sort of thing. That's what you're trying to achieve. And then that's underpinned for us by 5 key areas, being operations, marketing and sales, the services that you're offering, the financial accountability, I guess, of the firm, and then your staff structure and staff entitlements, etc. So thanks for watching. There's a few ebooks in the bottom of this video. It'd be great if you downloaded a few, and we're always free and available for a chat. Thank you.